All right, we are back. You know, Oath Keepers is to me a more fascinating organization every day. I think I told you that I became an Oath Keeper several months ago. Meant to become one well before that, but I just sort of forgot. Signed up, met some great guys already through Oath Keepers. Attended a local Oath Keeper meeting, doing some other stuff with them. And they've got some, by the way, not that this is the reason you should join, but they have some very attractive, appealing-looking t-shirts, which is great because you go around town, you got this really nice-looking shirt on, very attractive, especially, you know, organizational t-shirts, political t-shirts don't tend to be particularly attractive, but Oath Keepers are. So you get to wear something you're probably going to wear anyway, right? You know, you're kicking it around on a Saturday, going to Home Depot, doing this. You're going to be wearing a t-shirt anyway. Might as well wear something that speaks to what you believe in. Well, it's already warming up out here in Nevada, so I had a couple t-shirts. I got a couple more from the local guy, and I went ahead and cut the sleeves off. And I was asked to go to this little country western to do kind of a rodeo with a dance afterwards, and as you know, I do a lot of the country western dancing. So I was like, yeah, okay, we'll go by. So we actually ended up talking to the owner, and we were going to provide music because there were some complaints about their music in the past. So we were actually going to run the music. And then we're just going to hang out and have fun and dance. And well, it turns out that we ended up being sort of the unintended de facto entertainment because nobody else danced, and so we're out there dancing, and I've got this Oath Keepers t-shirt on. So, you know, and the kind of dancing we do is you know, very structured, and you know, people tend to look at it and go, ooh, ah, you know, that kind of stuff. So it was great for Oath Keepers because we sort of ended up, as I said, being the de facto entertainment, which meant all the eyes in the place, you know, 70 pairs of eyes were on the Oath Keepers t-shirt, which was awesome. And I was really surprised. A young man came up to me when I came off the dance floor, and I'm guessing he was about 26 or so. And he said, "Are you an Oath Keeper?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he stuck his hand out, and we shook hands. He said, "I just want to thank you for being an Oath Keeper." And I said, "Are you a member?" He said, "No, I've never taken the oath, but I know what it is. And I want to thank you for being an Oath Keeper." Wow, especially from a young guy like that. You know, and I realized in thinking about that and contemplating the whole mission of Oath Keepers, where its genius is. The genius of Oath Keepers is that no one is being called upon to do anything. To become a member of Oath Keepers is to commit to not doing a set of things. There's the 10 commandments of Oath Keepers. Okay? The 10 commandments of constitutional fidelity. And when one becomes an Oath Keeper, one commits to not doing point 1, not doing point 2. I will never do point 3, and so forth. So instead of saying, as most organizations do, we want you to go out and do this, we want you to donate money, we want you to get proactive, blah, 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 blah. Oath Keepers, the genius of it, and I really do think it is genius, is that the request is of all Americans that all they are expected to do, especially those who are currently in law enforcement and military, never do these 10 things, and America will remain free.